day 21 of my water fast. I've had 0 calories, have eaten and drank nothing in the last 3 weeks. It reminds me of a movie. There's this movie called Chasing Mavericks, and it's about Jay Moriarty, who's a young kid that grew up about my age in where I live in Santa Cruz. And this kid, he was the one that was the first kid to have it captured of him surfing the wave of all waves, Mavericks. And he had a mentor. And the mentor, he didn't have a father, but this mentor was his neighbor, and mentor still today is Surfing Santa. So during Christmas time, the same guy, a big white beard, still goes out surfing Santa in Capitola Village. So he's still around, and unfortunately Jay's not. If you know the story, being a watersman got the best of Jay. But in this movie, Chasing Mavericks, which is close to my heart because it's all where I live, Jay's mentor loses his wife to a stroke. And, what a devastating, I can't fathom what that would be like. And so one of Jay's goals before he surfs Maverick is to paddleboard from Santa Cruz all the way to Monterey. Let's just say it's a couple dozen miles. And in the movie, his mentor loses his wife and disappears. So Jay can't find him. Jay's worried. And the house is a wreck because he trashed the house. Her parents took the kids. So now this man is without a wife. His in-laws took his children so he could, heal. And he trashes his house, grabs a board, and goes out into the middle of the ocean. So here's Jay. Boom. He's paddling. Yeah, he can't find him. Finally, he finds him. And his mentor's laying on his back, looking like he's just waiting to die. And they have this really powerful exchange. The type of exchange that you never forget. The type that makes your eyes well up and tears roll down your cheeks when you watch it in that cinematic experience. And finally, his mentor is revived. He drinks some water, and he kind of looks at Jay like, okay, let's go back. And Jay says, we're halfway to Monterey. We already did a dozen miles. It was a dozen miles from the shore to here. We're already halfway there. Why would we go back to Santa Cruz? Let's finish the goal. This is the goal. This is what I have to do before I surf Mavericks. Let's go. And as I cross that halfway mark, I know that I have the grace spiritually and emotionally and physically and mentally to finish my 40 days without any sustenance. Part of that makes it easy is I had a lot of weight to burn, so that makes the hunger thing not a massive issue. Obviously, it's nice to share meals with friends, and who doesn't love to enjoy food, but I've made my decision. My decision's made. And I woke up this morning thinking about that movie and thinking about being halfway there, right? Now, it's a little different when you're in the middle of the ocean. You have to either go back a dozen miles or go to Monterey a dozen miles. So, you only have 2 options. For me, I guess I could stop and eat, or as I'm making my family food, I could eat some, but I choose not to. But there's something powerful about crossing that halfway mark. When you have a goal in mind, I'd imagine the people that climb Everest, right? They climb Everest and they cross the halfway mark and they go, I'm halfway there. You want to be an Olympian, and then you make it into qualifying and you go, I'm halfway there. I've qualified. Now all I got to do is get on the team, right? You want to be a pro ball player and you make it onto the minor league team. I'm halfway there. I'm almost to the majors. I'm on the minor league team, right? You want to have a child, and then you or your wife get pregnant. And now, there's 9 months to go, but I'm halfway there. I'm almost a mother. I'm almost a father. And there's something so meaningful about those moments where we cross that mark. Today is a Sunday, so I'll share one more meaningful story with you. Story Sunday is what we're having right now, as my glorious Tesla drives us home from Redding, California. So I did a couple hundred round trips to the city of Redding, California, primarily because I was the entrepreneur in residence for a global nonprofit called Bethel, which is really well known for their music and also well known for their unexplainable, mysterious, supernatural physical healings. The organization and the people, they believe in the healings that come through surgery and medicine, but they also have wild things happen. Just found out this weekend, 2 people that were prayed for by one of the leaders was healed of cerebral palsy, which is the craziest thing. But I would see those things all the time. And I helped them launch an online tech school, helped them launch a advancement campaign, and another handful of things when I was working with them. And they've always been family to me. It's been the spiritual community I felt most connected with. It's funny because when I first went up there, I felt very unconnected. Like, people are weird. Oh, the supernatural silliness. This is not my vibe. But over time, you acclimate to this environment of joy and honor and enthusiasm and passion. There's something so very precious about the environment. I remember it was explained to me by the senior leader. He said, people look at us and think we're dangerous because we're wild and a little unrestrained, kind of like we're a volcano rock, right? They look at us, they go, you're ugly, and you're like a thing that can hurt people. He said, but if you crack that volcano rock open, there's all the beautiful crystal inside. And that's been my experience. It's been a beautiful environment to be a part of. So there's a man named Lou Engle, who's a friend of this community, and many people might know him from all of the wild attempts he's made in transforming the culture of the United States. And I first encountered Lou like 26 years ago. I was at a all-day concert in San Francisco at the Golden Gate Park, and I remember Lou is up there with all the Native Americans, and he was trying to have a restoration moment between Americans, who he was representing with his team, and the Native Americans who he felt were wildly abused. And all the Native Americans were up there with him, and they're drumming their drums and they're chanting their chants, and he's asking for forgiveness on behalf of the nation, and there's restoration. And I remember seeing it, and I'm like, wow, this is wild. I've never seen anything like this before. And it was at that time I found out that Lou would fast all the time. So one of my mentors, one of the leaders of Bethel, a guy named Chris Valentin, he makes this joke. I've gone out to dinner with Lou 6 times, and he only ate once, because Lou's always fasting. So for the last 26 years, I've looked up to Lou Engle, because to me, he was the example of this pursuit of discipline, this pursuit, this leaning into suffering, this thing of saying no to your desires, no to the things that you want pleasure from, and choosing to say, I'm not going to give myself what I want. Instead, for him, I'm going to take time to pray, right? That's his motivation. I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray that God will manifest the desires of my heart for the culture of our nation. And so for 26 years, I've been watching this man. And when I first met him from a stage, maybe I gave him a hug, I gave him a high five back then. I mean, it wasn't any significance if that did happen. I've been inspired. At 18, I started doing these 4-day fasts, and then over time 7s, and then over time 10s, and then eventually a 12. And now finally, I know that I'm on my way to complete my first and maybe my only 40-day fast. I have no inclination in my heart that I'll be a 40-day faster. Like, this is a new rhythm. This is an accomplishment. This is climbing Everest. I probably only get to climb this mountain one time, but we'll see. And I saw Lou recently on an announcement with Bethel, and he said, hey, I came to Redding. I'm fasting for 40 days. this is what I'm praying about, and I've asked the community to join me, and we're going to do this big event, which just happened 2 days ago on Friday. This 6-hour event in the ballpark, which thousands, I don't know, it's hard to count when it's a big, huge ballpark, 5,000. It was a lot of people that showed up. And so I saw Lou, and I thought, you know what? This is my time. Like, now's my time to fast for 40 days. So I start my 40-day fast. My wife and our youngest son, we all go to the event on Friday, and it was more than I could have ever hoped for. And of course, always so good to spend time with my friends there. And there's a part of me that thinks like, oh, I should ask Bill or Chris to introduce me to Lou, or, you know, like, I want to talk to Lou. Like, I want to say, Lou, thank you for your inspiration in my life. And also, there's a couple of cool stories where a lot of people in AI and blockchain and advanced technology, they are fasters, right? They like to fast. They fast for physical reasons, right? To restore, heal their body. They fast for reasons of emotional discipline. They want that they want to show restraint and control over themselves. And I remember at one time I went and I ran into a real well-known guy, one of these Bitcoin billionaires, who invited me to come visit him. And so I go to his house. It's several years back, and I happened to be on, like, let's just say day 8 of a fast. Well, it turns out he was also on day 8 of a fast. And so obviously he and I like have this deep connection in that moment. It didn't matter that he was fasting for different reasons than I was fasting for. What matters is that we had this commonality. We both had said no to giving ourselves the pleasure that we wanted through food. And we both had taken this time in our life to say, no, we're pursuing restraint. And so obviously that was like this powerful moment. And he's telling me about, you know, his heroes in the Masonic faith, and his heroes in other, religions. Maybe it was Buddhism or Hinduism, whatever he was kind of sharing. And he's asking me about my heroes, like, who do you look up to in fast? I'm like, Lou. And I remember going and saying, let me see your control. And I pull up, and all of a sudden, boom, I pull Lou on the TV, and he and I are watching Lou, do his Lou Engle thing. And so today, we're part of the community this morning, and it just so happened that I was sitting next, really close to Lou. So I thought, hey, this is natural. I'll just go and say hi to him. So I walk up and I shake his hand, introduce myself, and he was very gracious and warm and welcoming. And I said, hey, I'm on day 21 of a water fast. It's my first 40 day. He gets all lit up. He's so excited. Oh, this is the greatest. He just loves it when somebody's going to participate in a fast. This is the thing. This moves mountains. And then I share with him the story about how I had introduced him to lots of people in technology. And then he just lights up. He looks like a kid. He's moving his arms around, and he's just he is all in. And then he grabs me with both hands. He lays his mitts upon my shoulders, and he prays for me. And he prayed a wonderful blessing. It's one thing to be prayed for by an elder. That's one thing. It's a whole nother thing to be prayed for by an elder that you desire their blessing. And you see, I came to Lou this morning. I came to the community with no intention of seeing Lou or talking to Lou. But when I came up to Lou, my only intent was to honor him, right? That was the reason why I said hi. I said hi to find commonality. Lou, I'm also on a 21-day fast. I'm on 21 out of 40 because he's toward the end of his 40 day. I find commonality. And then I bring up things that will encourage his heart, because I went up there for him. I went up there to bless him. And then in response, he chose. I didn't say, will you pray for me? Will you bless me? He chose to grab my shoulders. He chose to start speaking a blessing over my life. And you see, there's something there about the receptacle of my heart, the receptacle, me being a receiver of that blessing, right? To be blessed is not the end goal. The end goal is to desire the blessing that you receive, so you're fully open to it. And it was so powerful because of that. So there's a couple stories, one from a movie that I woke up thinking about, and one from just my day, which I will cherish for a long, long time. And I thought, since the car is driving me, it still makes me look at the road, though. So I can't be looking at my phone. So my wonderful wife is holding the phone. And I hope that you enjoyed the stories. And I'll continue to share my journey with you over the next 19 days. Not that I'm counting them down to try to get somewhere. I'm enjoying every single moment of this experience. Until next time, peace to you.